Hello, Bible Club. Good to be with you again. I just am so happy because this is our third week talking about Easter, and it's a good week. Last time we ended on a sad note, didn't we? Talking about how Jesus died. You see this black cloth on the cross. And how he carried our stones with him, all our rocks that we carry around. He carried them on that cross, on his back. Ugh, like this. All the bags of rocks of all the people that have ever lived. And being a Christian is just saying, Jesus, I believe that you did that for me. Not just for like the world in general, but for me, for Miss Renee, for each one of you, Azaria and Levi and Matthew and Bridger, all of you. And Addison, I miss all of you. And Elle. So here are a few rocks. Some of these rocks are from like mistakes that we've made, things we've done wrong and bad choices. And some of the rocks are actually when we get hurt from other people, when we get wounds, like someone says something really mean or hurts our body. We don't know what to do, so we want to run away. And lots of times it's easy to run the wrong direction when you're running away, right? And so when you run away from things that hurt you, that can give you another rock to carry, something sad in your bag. Jesus says, can I share that with you? Can I take that from you? He is so kind. He says, come to me if you're weary and you're burdened. I want to give you rest. And so that's why Jesus came, because he wanted to give us rest and he wanted to give us peace inside of our hearts. Well, Jesus' friends came. One of his friends had a tomb for his future funeral. He said, I don't need it now. I'm going to give it to Jesus. So he got permission and he put Jesus in, they placed Jesus in the tomb. First, they wrapped him up with some beautiful smelling, really beautiful smelling herbs and spices, some myrrh and aloe. It was actually 75 pounds, which is as heavy as some of you kids. 75 pounds of spices. This kind of smells like pumpkin pie. And then they wrapped his body like a mummy almost with strips of linen, round and round. And they lovingly placed him on a flat table-like rock inside the tomb. Well, some soldiers came and said, we're going to guard this tomb because this was a very important person. So they put a very big rock. They rolled it. Do you see them pushing that big rock in front of the entrance? And it took a lot of strong guys to do that because it was a big rock. Let's see if I can find my little Easter egg rock. Ooh, I think it's in the green one. It's my favorite color. Do you see that rock? It's just a little flat rock from a beach trip we took. But they rolled a really huge, taller than me rock in front of the entrance and stood guard with their spears and their swords. Friday night was sad. Saturday was very sad. All his disciples were so afraid. If they killed Jesus, are they going to kill us too? And why did he have to die? He was God's son. We know he was what? They couldn't remember that he had talked about dying. That was part of his plan. But that he would come back to life. Very early on Sunday morning, some of his women disciples, Mary Magdalene was one of them, went to the tomb to see if they could give him lay some flowers at the entrance to the tomb at least. Or maybe the rock would be moved. Well, sure enough, the rock was moved. They couldn't believe their eyes. Mary Magdalene ran in, and she was very brave because it's scary to go inside a tomb, right? She ran in and she saw only strips of white linen, no body. Oh, she didn't know what to do. She thought, well, maybe someone's stolen his body. What should I do? So she ran out. It was still kind of dark, and she said, oh, there's a gardener here. And there was a beautiful garden kind of like behind me. And she said, sir, someone has stolen the master's body, and I don't know. Did you see someone here? Was someone here? Could you tell me which direction they went? I have to find my master. And just one word. That gardener was not really a gardener. Who was it? It was Jesus, and he said her name. One word, Mary. And Mary knew that voice, right? Mary knew that voice just like a little sheep would know the shepherd's voice. He had said that before. Mary. He said her name because you know what? Jesus knew her name. Jesus knows your name. Did you know that? And your little heart, your ears of your heart can learn to listen for the voice of your shepherd. He knows your name is Azaria, and he knows your name Bridger and Levi and Matthew. all of your names. Addison, he knows my name, Miss Renee. So we need to be listening for him. He said, Mary. And right away she said, oh, Master. And she was weeping tears of joy. She couldn't believe her eyes. She looked down and grabbed his feet, and he had sandals on. And she thought, well, he can't be a ghost because a ghost floats with no feet. He said, don't hold on to me, Mary. Go tell my brothers, the disciples, that I'm going to go back to my God and their God. And she said, I will tell them, Lord. And she ran as fast as she could run. Let's see her fast. Let's see. Here she is talking to Jesus. Oh, he said, don't hold on to me now. Don't grab my feet now. And she ran so fast. Do you see her? It looks like she's doing the splits. It was like the grass was singing and the birds were singing just for this reason, that Jesus was alive. Her heart was full of joy. They aren't going to believe this, she thought, and she was right. Jesus' friends were so afraid, they were hiding. And all of a sudden, this was later on that day, the door was locked because they were afraid. All of a sudden, Jesus came right through the locked door, and he said 4 words, peace be with you. Those were the first words he said to his friends. And you know, those words are so beautiful because that's what we need in this world. We need the peace of God, don't we? We can't really go through life with a happy smile on our faces if we don't have the peace of God. And they were freaking out, and he said, don't be afraid, I'm hungry. Can you guys give me some food? They thought he was a ghost. So they gave him some broiled fish and some bread, and he said, a ghost can't eat food. And he chewed it and he swallowed it, and he said, can I please have some wine and some water? He was thirsty. So they gave him some wine and some water, and he said, I am the Savior and the rescuer of the world. I am going to make everything sad come untrue. That is our Jesus. And so when we see, did you see what I have here? My favorite golden egg. Do you see that golden egg there? That's the one. Let's see what's in there. That's the last one, and it represents empty. It's empty because the empty tomb. And it's such a happy egg because you know what it means? It's kind of like Jesus. You see my flowers here? Jesus is like this one. He's the first one to die and come back to life and never die again. Even Lazarus, when he died and came back to life, Jesus raised him. He had to die again, didn't he? He died another time at the end of his life. But Jesus, he died once, and he is kind of like what they call the first fruits. He's the one that says, I died and came back to life so that all of you flowers, all of you people, when it's your turn to die, you don't have to be afraid, because your next home, you're just going to be transplanted from there up to a beautiful, glittering place called heaven, where there's no darkness and there are no tears and there's nothing sad to make you cry and have to carry rocks ever again. He's like, I'm doing this, and when it's your turn to die, you'll go from the earth and you'll join me up here in heaven, and we'll all be with him in there, and no more sadness. Do you see all these golden Easter eggs? That's representing all of you. You also will have an empty tomb, because your life, when your eyes close down on earth and you're all done living here, your eyes will open very next minute in heaven. And yes, your body will stay here, almost like when an animal like a snake sheds its skin. The skin will still be here, but your new self, your new body will be up there in heaven with Jesus. For everyone that says, yes, I believe you. So that is our happy, happy story. And I just am so glad that I got to share it with you. I hope that you have a wonderful spring break, and I'll look forward to next time. Bye-bye.